Yo, what is up, everybody? Jumping here, and today I am back on some Anthem, and I am actually going to be talking about this Cataclysm. Primarily, what to do if you are playing with random people, because this is something that happens a lot. I do play this with friends, and when I play with friends, normally I do it on GM3, and we can get like 8.5 million score, or even higher once the higher multipliers come out with the different events. So you could do some crazy stuff with friends, but if you are playing with random people, well, there is a lot that you might want to do. So I'm going to be showing you guys like my strategy for whenever I play with randoms and what I like to actually do for my little route that I take. So the first event here, I'm just showing this to kind of like talk about stuff. And for a lot of the events, when it just comes to like killing them or just doing them, I'm not going to show that just because there's really no need to show it, because most people know how to do the events. And if you don't know how to do the events, well, you should learn how to do the events, obviously. But I'm going to be showing you like pretty much the secrets, the things to do to try to get as high of a score whenever you're playing with random people, because a lot of stuff will not get done if you don't do it. That is the truth. Most people, when they're doing this, they'll do the events and then immediately go to the boss. And that's a little bit frustrating because obviously, you do want to get a higher score so you get more crystals. So if you follow my strategy, you will get a pretty decently high score whenever you're playing with randoms pretty much every single time. And unfortunately, it's a lot of work because you're going to be putting in a lot of extra work, but it is what it is, so it's whatever. Alright, so the first thing I did want to show here, though, is how to summon this Valkyrie, because a lot of people don't know it. So even if you are the one doing the echoes, or if someone else is doing the echoes to actually complete the event, then you do 100% want to pretty much get ready to summon the Valkyrie by standing next to one to go ahead and pull it out once the final echo is put in. Once that final echo is in, if you pull it out, that will summon the Valkyrie, and it's always better to kill these things if you have a higher multiplier, but unfortunately a lot of people will just shoot the thing immediately, which is pretty frustrating, but it is something that will happen. So a lot of times if that's the case, then it is better to actually destroy the crystal. So now let's talk about this first echo machine. So the first echo that will always be there is right there above that little archway. And then if you fly directly down here, there's one that can be there. And next up, I'm going to be flying towards this cliff area. And there's one that will spawn right here. And this will spawn here sometimes, not all the time. And there's going to be actually two that can spawn in the water. But as you're flying down, one can be on the left side of the water, or one can be on the right side of the water. And then one can also be up there on that cliff where that tree was. That's why I was looking at it there. But that's where all the echoes can spawn, so make sure to try to get them all. And then up here, this is a time rune. This is one, though, I normally don't go and get. I hope that other people will know about it and they will go and get it. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't know about it. But the point is that I just skip it a lot. If I do need to go to the boss, I'll get it while I'm heading to the boss. But outside of that, I just skip it because I'm trying to save a little bit of time so I can make it to that event before it is over so I can actually get the reward out of it. But a lot of times you might skip it. So next up, I'm going to go and grab the beach relic, which will spawn kind of heading towards like the bubble and the event. It's on the beach. You see where it was. Pick that up, and then I collect the orbs, and then I will come over here to the pedestal to put it in, and then you can collect the orbs out of this. Now you might be wondering, why do this stuff early? Why not wait? Well, if you don't do it, then it might not get done. And if people are heading to the boss like right away, which a lot of times they are, they will actually kill the boss before you will ever come back over here. And that's really unfortunate. So up here on this cliff is a bomb. We're going to pick that up. We're going to go down low here to the crystal. We're going to blow this up now. And then after that, we're going to do the circle relic. This is another thing a lot of people don't know about, a lot of people don't do. But this is pretty much heading up to that second event there. And it's going to be over here in the corner on the left. So we're going to go ahead and pick up the relic. And then we're going to head over to where we need to put it in, which is like a circle. That's why it's the circle relic. And we're going to collect this stuff. Now, once again, this is also optional. I'm going to go and do another bomb. But the thing is that it's going to waste a lot of time. So it's up to you if you want to do it or not. Now, I'm also going to go get this time rune. But a lot of times people will grab this. So if you hear that sound of them grabbing it early on, you know which one they got. They got this one. And because of that, you can pretty much skip this. But if you know they didn't get it, then you can also go and grab that if you need to. But once again, that will take some extra time. But next up is going to be this outside wall bomb and crystal, which, like I said, this is the one where you can kind of skip it if you want, just because it takes a little bit of extra time. But you need to kind of fly towards the hole, and then once you go through it, go ahead and just drop on down. The bomb's going to be right here, and then the crystal will actually be against the outer wall by all these rocks. Be careful not to fall in the water, though. That can happen, and that can be very frustrating if that happens. So try to stick close to the wall if possible. After that, I like to just fly directly up over the wall so that I can actually head towards another bomb to do. Now, this is one that I try to get done, even if I am skipping things like the time rune or that outside wall bomb. If I'm skipping those because I'm trying to save a little bit of time, I will still try to do this one if possible, just to get it out of the way so it gets done. But for this one, you just need to kind of head towards where the bubble is over here, and just you will blow up the bomb. I'll show you exactly where it's at. There's also going to be a statue up here that you can go ahead and stand on the pressure plate, and it's pretty much the easiest one of all of the pressure plates. Bunch of enemies as well, which don't even bother killing them, because once again, you don't want to waste too much time here. But one of the things I will say, as long as you're like over here in this area, even if they complete the event while you're over here, you could still get the rewards out of the chest. But if you're further away like I was for this run, because they pretty much did it right away, they didn't summon the Valkyrie, unfortunately. But because I was actually pretty far away, then I'm not going to actually get the rewards. But you can still always check it if you like. So I like to drop down in this water. There's actually going to be a lot of notes down here. There's 3 blue ones and 3 purple ones. So it's definitely worth coming down here to make sure this gets done. Because I'm going to say this a lot probably. If you don't do it, it's probably not going to get done. Even if you're playing with people who are good and they know what they're doing, a lot of times people will not come down here to collect this stuff. So in my opinion, it's just better to get it done early than later, because if people do go to the boss, especially if they have good damage, they will kill that boss pretty quickly. And this is on GM2, so I mean, if it's on GM3, they're not going to kill it quick at all. But on GM2, if they have good damage, they can definitely kill the boss pretty quickly. So once you go through the teleporter, this is going to take you directly to where that event is. And that's the reason why, I guess, that you can get the rewards, but it is a little bit odd. I'm going to go and check, although I am pretty confident that I wasn't going to get the rewards. I kind of knew I wasn't. I just wanted to show this for the video to kind of show you, like, you know, you always go in there to check. And a lot of times you could just get the stuff out of the chest as long as you were, like, close enough. And there's, of course, the pressure plate up here for the statue. A lot of people know about this, and because of that, a lot of people will get this. But it's always a good idea to double check. Another thing, too, these guys are actually pretty far ahead of me just because I took all that extra time to show the stuff for the video. So I have to keep that in mind. So I need to try to go. But I did want to double check that plate just in case. Now, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and go on the left path instead of going to the right path, because that's going to take me out to Dominion Foothold, where that event is right now. And I'm going to go ahead and drop down here to collect these notes. There's a purple one and there's 2 blue ones. And then after that, I'm going to kind of fly up, and this is kind of like heading towards the left as you're actually heading towards the exit out here. And then where you see the ladder, there's a time rune up here, so let's go ahead and grab that. This is another area that people will just not go through, unfortunately. And I also get the purple orb. Even if you're playing with like better people who know what they're doing, a lot of times people might not come through here, and if they don't, they're going to miss the time rune, they're going to miss the orbs, or the notes, I mean, really. And there's also enemies over here, and these enemies, you know, anytime you can get a large spawn of enemies, the enemies can also be worth a good amount of points. So it's something that you do want to pretty much kill as many enemies as you can, because it is nice for your score. But once you're done killing enemies, then we're going to go ahead and head outside. And once we're out here, we're going to do a couple things out here. The first thing, which I think is important, is to do this bomb. So to get the bomb, you just need to go left as you exit, and then you need to kind of go up on the balcony, grab the bomb, and the crystal is directly below. This is a bomb that pretty much a lot of people will miss, even if they know what they're doing. Like, they just will miss this a lot. So it's better to get out the way now. At this point, a lot of the stuff I'm doing is kind of optional, just because a lot of people will do it, or at least you can do it later if you want. But I like to do it just because it can be funny. There's going to be multiple blue notes that I normally will grab along the way here, but you can do this as you're coming back through this area later if you want to grab these notes, so it's up to you. But I'm going to actually do this bomb right here. Now, this is a bomb that a lot of people will do, and you can do it as well, so it's not really a big problem if you want to do it later. But I like to do it now because what will happen is this bomb will be on other people's screen. They'll see it, or at least the crystal, I mean, will be on other people's screen. And they'll try to blow it up. So if I see them about to try that, what I'll do is jack the bomb from them. And I know that probably makes them mad. But they don't know that I already got it. So it's not like really a big deal. But it is kind of funny when you run up to jack someone's bomb. Now to summon this Valkyrie, you need to pretty much go ahead and flip the switch over there, which is kind of, I guess, on the right as you enter this area. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of closer to where the Dominion Vault is, but it's not marked on the map. But a lot of people don't know about that either, unfortunately. And it's something I noticed. But you always want to get the Valkyries out if possible. They are worth a lot of points. So the more you get of the Valkyries, the better. Now it's time to really get to work. So there is a lot to do here, unfortunately. And we're going to have to do it. Otherwise, it just might not get done. Now, to be honest, one thing I have noticed is that a lot of people will do the Echo Machine. At least they will do that much over here. And that is good. But I will be showing you as well on how you can do the Echo Machine if you have to. But on top of it, a lot of people will miss one Echo. Now, I'm going to do the Dominion Vault. So the first relic was right there. It's kind of close to that rock. So that's what you're kind of looking for. And then the actual vault is over here. So we need to take the relic over here and place it. The next one is actually kind of heading towards the Dark Passage area. And it's going to be actually on this rock above the water. So I'm going to grab that. Be careful not to fall in the water. You do not want that to happen. And we need to go and place this now as well. And then after that, we are going to fly up top. Now, up here on this cliff can be an echo. So if it is there, you can grab it now if you like. Or you could just save it because I always double check the echoes just in case. But then I will also go ahead and look and see if they've done it or not. Because sometimes you just don't know. You can hear the sound effect, but unfortunately it's a little glitchy. That sound effect will go off a lot, so you never know if it's real or not. So it's always a good idea to check and try to make sure that Echo Machine gets done if possible. But if you are actually looking for the echoes, the first one can spawn up here, so normally you will see it. And there is going to be another one that you can see if you're taking this route, which will be on the wall over here as well. Now in this run, someone is doing the Echo Machine, so I don't have to do it. But if you keep going this way, there's a purple note down here, but there can be an echo over here as well. There's also a blue note. And right there, I'm just looking to make sure the guy actually did it. And if you fly through here, there can be an echo through here, through that little path I just took. And the two that people miss a lot will be over here. One could be on that plate to the right there. And if you fly towards this big rock, there's another echo that can be over here. And there's a plate as well to help you see it. Now, there is actually a time rune in this area as well. But normally, you just want to listen to that sound, that time rune sound. And if you hear it, then you know that people got it. And if not, it's in a crate and it's by the Echo Machine. And then I like to grab the bomb over here. And if you take it over this way, this is where the rock is for that bomb. And now I am going to go and do the grab it event. So this is definitely the most important thing to get done. And hopefully you can actually solo it and get it done consistently. It takes some practice to get kind of good at it, but I've done it on every single one of the javelins multiple times because I do run a lot of javelins as I'm doing this. Interceptor is probably my favorite one to play for this just because of the speed of the Interceptor. I like to move fast. I like to try to get as much done as I can, and I definitely like the speed of the Interceptor for doing that. But the first step is to actually go into the water and then turn the machine on. Once you've done that, you can fly up top here, and then there's going to be this bomb. Remember? But we already did the one crystal, so I'm going to grab the bomb now. This is why I kind of do it in my route, because I'm going to go and blow up this one crystal right now. There's also another bomb that actually spawns by this crystal as well, but I don't normally get that bomb. I don't really care about doing that. I just grab the one from up there, because it's just faster and easier this way. So the bomb's out here in the water, so we're going to go ahead and blow this up now. And then we are going to fly up top to actually get the pressure plates. But remember, you want to kill the enemies. Always kill the enemies, you know. Sometimes it can take a little bit of extra time to kill the enemies, and if you are worried about the time, okay, especially if you're trying to maybe make it to the boss, which When you're doing this, most of the time, especially if 3 people are at the boss, which does happen, you are probably not going to make it to the boss to get the rewards from the boss. So it's unfortunate, but when you're doing this, you're really doing it for the crystals. I mean, that's kind of the point. So, I mean, screw it. I don't care. I just want more crystals. So the first plate, I already showed that. The second plate is over there. And then over here is a time rune that you can grab. But you also need to get the bomb from up here. So we're going to go ahead and grab the bomb. And then we're going to drop down. We're not going to go all the way down because there's a couple blue orbs that we can grab if you hop down there. But now we're going to go ahead and drop all the way down. And we're going to place the bomb on the plate. Now, I've read online that you can actually get this plate without actually needing the bomb, but I don't know, they might have fixed that. I think that might have been from the test server. Unfortunately, a lot of the guides for the Cataclysm and stuff are from the test server, so you don't really know if they fixed certain things or not. But now we're going to head back to where the machine was underwater because we are going to go ahead and go through the door. But I'm also generally looking for extra enemies to kill if I can, but if they're too far off, I'm not going to bother. There's a purple orb right here, so be sure to grab this just for the extra score. And then, of course, there's the blue orbs as well, which we are going to pick those up. And then it's time to head in. I will be honest, even to this day, and I've done this so many times, I always get a little nervous that I'm going to mess it up. Now, 9 times out of 10, I'll get it. Every once in a while, I'll mess it up. So you got to be a little bit careful. And I will say that this effect that they added for this week was really good for the lightning. So once that's gone, it might not be as easy, especially on the Interceptor, but it's really easy on the Colossus. Although the Colossus is really slow, and that's unfortunate. The Colossus with Vasa's Arc, which is an ability, is amazing for this. You will just wipe everything out. Ranger's pretty good too, because you can use your ultimate on these things with the Ranger and lock on to all of them, or at least a lot of them, and get them that way. But you always want to kind of move around and double check every side to try to see them and just take them out as quick as you can. The Storm's actually really good too for taking these out. I really like the Storm for this. And yeah, I mean, like I said, you can do it on all of them, but I think Interceptor might be a little bit tricky without that lightning. That lightning really does help a lot for taking these things out. And of course, you want to get the pressure plate, which is up top, and that will get you an extra orb as well. But that's the most important thing to do, just because of the insane amount of score that you can get off of that. It's pretty much like 100k, and once the multiplier gets even higher, it's going to be even more. So yeah, that is definitely the number one thing to do. And I would say the other most important thing to do is the Echo Machines, and then the Relic stuff. The Dominion Vault, and then the Beach Relic, and the Circle Relic are the most points that you're going to get. So those are the most important things to do. If you skip some bombs, that's fine. That's just the truth. You don't have to get all the bombs. You don't have to get all the pressure plates with all the statues, And one thing that you always want to hope for when you're doing this is you're kind of hoping for people to maybe know what they're doing on the other side of the map if possible. Because if they're on the top side of the map, closer to where the boss is, and they're doing stuff over there, your score can get pretty high, and that's the best. Unfortunately, that just doesn't really happen all that often. But if you are playing with a friend, which a lot of times, maybe I'm just playing with one friend and we're playing with 2 random people, he'll pretty much go ahead and do all the stuff on that side of the map while I'm doing all the stuff down here. And if we're doing it like that, I mean, we can easily get almost maximum score that you can get. That's definitely really nice. So it's just something. Now it's time for this Echo Machine. So the first thing to do is to fly under that archway, because there can be one there. Up here by this tree, there can be one. Up there as well, where I was looking, can be one. And then over there, where I was looking, where the plate was, can be one. Now, this is actually a really rare one, but there can be one up here. And it kind of blew my mind from my video that it was up there, because it is pretty rare. And then the other one is going to be directly below it. And like I said, you can always look for those plates. Those plates will actually help you understand where those things can spawn. And that's actually kind of a helpful thing, but that's my route. I do that every single time because that's how I look for them. I just literally look in every single place they can be, and then I try to collect the 2 of them, and then always there's going to be one that will be in the same spot. In this case, it's going to be this one over here. This one will always be here. And now we can go ahead and put them in, and at this point, as you're waiting for it to open, just try to kill as many of these enemies over here as you can. And normally I kill a couple of them, like to begin with, because if you do that, then they will actually start to come over to you, which is actually quite helpful because you don't have to go like really far away to get them or anything like that. So I'm taking out the enemies, and now I'm going to go and collect all the orbs that will come out of this. And you got to be careful with randoms doing this. I mean, that is something. You do have to be careful about it because I've seen it multiple times where people will do the Echo Machine and then they will like leave and they don't collect the orbs. It is so insane, but I've seen that so many times, so got to be careful. Now, at this point, it's kind of a toss-up if people are at the boss, and because a lot of times people just go to the boss immediately. That's what they do. And if you are talking about 3 people going to the boss, then at this point, the run should be over. You can definitely get the grab it thing done normally before the boss is dead, and most of the time you can get that other Echo Machine done before the boss is dead. But if there's only 2 people at the boss, and maybe there's another guy doing some stuff, then you might actually be able to make it to the boss. And if you can make it to the boss, that's great. And in this case, this wasn't even a full team. It was just 3 of us the entire time. So, I definitely knew that I would probably make it to the boss. But I'm going to try to maximize the score as best as I personally can. So I'm going to be doing things like killing these enemies here. At this point, I could have got that time rune if I would skip it. Like I said, most runs, I skip it. I don't even bother getting it. So if I can make it over here before the boss is dead, then I will actually go ahead and do that. And also, I do like check certain things, like if the laser rock is still there, I will try to do that. Because like I said, I don't care about the drops, Yes, the boss might drop me a legendary every once in a blue moon, but the reality is I want the score. I mean, that's what I want. I want to get as many crystals as possible so I can open a lot of chests, because I want the new stuff. So, at this point, I'm just going to come over here and pretty much melt the boss for these guys, because man, my interceptor is really good. I'm going to probably do a build video for the interceptor. I never did it back in the day, but I just never grinded the interceptor. But now I have been grinding the interceptor, and I have some really cool stuff. So I'm definitely digging the interceptor right now. I was kind of mad about like the change where they made melee damage scale off the weapon. But once I actually got a good melee, then it was like, okay, this is not bad at all. Like, I definitely like the interceptor a lot more now. Alrighty guys, well that's pretty much my route. That's what I like to do to try to maximize the score as best that I can. Because I do play with randoms a lot, and if you don't do certain things, then it's just not going to get done. And I definitely really like the route just because I can do a lot of different things and try to get as much of a score as I can. Now I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have, will you please like the video for me? Be sure to subscribe and click the bell and all that good stuff. You know how it is. But I really do hope that everyone has a very nice day, and peace out.